I grew up in a very religious Christian home, in a family where education was a priority. I never imagined that I was going to be a pastor's wife. As a matter of fact, I never imagined I would end up like this. I used to be a very simple, honest, sincere, young girl growing up with so much innocency. And I've always have this love for God. And I am that young girl that love to be me, honest, real, original, not altered with anything, but just being the me that I know I am. It's both sweet and at the same time a bit confusing. I grew up in a very religious Christian home where God was the focus, religion was the center of the family, and at the same time a large family, which is a polygamous family. So I had many siblings, and with my parents. So it was a very interesting family. And then I also grew up in a family where education was a standard, education was a priority. My father wouldn't give you anything, he wouldn't buy you, anything except when you excel in your education. So to us, his children, he told us from that early age that the legacy he's going to leave with us when he eventually goes is that we're all educated. From there, we can thrive and then discover and succeed in life. So that's just basically what my upbringing was all about. Honestly, I never imagined that I was going to be a pastor's wife. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know I was going to be a pastor. I always knew that I have these giftings in me, to be able to reach out to people, to work with people. But pastor and pastor's wife was not in line with my thoughts. So I never imagined I would end up like this. You can't love genuinely without self-awareness. I learned that in my marriage. And I also learned that marriage actually does not fulfill you, only God does. And that's been one of the most exciting lessons I learned, and so eager and willing to pass it to every married couple out there and those that hope to get married in life. Marriage never love you can't love without self-discovery, and marriage does not fulfill you. Honestly, there have been so many. In fact, that has been one of the major, challenge and the major weight that tried to pull me down being a pastor's wife, because there were so many expectations from me, from the church, so many expectations from, the general public, the society, so many expectations from my family. And sometimes, because I'm human, I just couldn't meet some of those expectations. And the fact that, I couldn't meet them, tried to get me discouraged, depressed. I remember there was a time, the way I used to wear my hairstyle before I got married. And I got married, dressed like the me I used to know, just a week after my marriage. And I remember sitting down with my husband first Sunday after I came back, from the honeymoon. And I sat down with him, and after church, and they're like married elderly women, called me, and they called my husband. They said that please, I shouldn't feel bad, but I'm a young girl, and truly I was quite young. I think I was 25 or 24, going to 25 when I got married. And they said that there are so many things I don't know, and they want to teach me. And boom, they told me the way I should dress as a pastor's wife. That was so heavy for me because what it did is that for over 20 years, it changed and re-engineered the original me. And there were moments when I'm coming to church and I'm fixed between, am I dressing well? Will they accept me? Should I behave this way? What do I need to do to fit into that title? And it was really, really a heavy weight. But thank God we're able to conquer it. And here we are today. Self discovery is actually the key. The fact that you're a pastor's wife and you're married to this man who has this ministry and then you're married to him does not mean you should automatically, leave every other thing, leave who you are, leave what God actually sent you on earth to do and begin to focus only on that, ministry. Yes, you are part of the ministry, but the thing is that you're actually there as a helpmate to help him to make sure that God's purpose in for his life it's achieved. But that does not mean that you should also forget and leave your own purpose why you are helping your spouse. A good example is that I used to have a doctor, who you are normally, refer me for medical tests, like doing your checking all your vital organs to make sure that they are okay in a good shape for you to work. So I do this routine medicals every year. And I remember, one of those days that I go, he is a medical doctor, a medical consultant, and his wife also is a medical doctor who is, I think she's a gynecologist or a pediatrician. Yeah, she's a pediatrician. Now, I'm only a child and uh, whatever, I'm just going to do a medical test, a medical checkup now. And she and her husband own that hospital and they work together. Now, I can't say because she's a doctor and her husband is a doctor, she should come and be treating me. Because I remember there was a time we are trying to do, some medical examination, and then she was there. And I felt like, oh, since you're a lady, you should understand better now. I asked her this and she started laughing, said, no, I just have, the general idea of medicine, but I'm specialized in, pediatric issues. So I deal more with children. Now, being married to a pastor does not mean that I should automatically become that man. I wasn't there when God called him. God told him exactly, just like Abraham, instructed him, gave him the instruction order, precept by precept, line by line. This is how this ministry is going. And a wife is coming to help you as a helpmate to make sure that dominion is achieved. Christ is, preached, people are being witnessed to, and the purpose of creation and existence is, achieved. At the same time, he also created me and put something in me to be able to help people, coaching them, helping them to self-discover, get healed, and grow. Now, I can do this in the church and at the same time do it outside the church because we are actually sent not only to the church but to the uttermost part of the world, to the globe. So that, is one of the reason why I still do everything fully as a pastor's wife, as a pastor, and also branch out to still fulfill purpose and help other people, become better and discover, heal, and grow, all to fulfill the agenda of heaven. Take over and take charge of the world and rule like kings and priests that we are, as the Lord and the Bible instructed us. Mirroring back into myself, I saw the different type of trauma that I had and what I needed to do to get healed, and how being healed of those trauma is able to bring the better version of me out, and also all the responsibility that were not necessary, loving the wrong way, and so many more. So I feel like, oh, there may be another Jackie out there in another body. And that was my motivation for the Royal Circle, to see that women, every woman out there, self discover, heal, unlearn, learn, and grow. That is like a big fulfillment for me. And I can't, imagine how far God will take me, especially in this new year. And I'm looking forward to impacting the whole world. I want to be global. I want to make a mark to tell every woman all over the globe that, come, you have a purpose. Let's discover it together. If there are obstacles, just like I got healed, you can as well be healed. And you can learn new things and unlearn the old, like I did, and then grow beyond even your expectation, but rather grow to have dominion over the world and fit into God's plan, like I am doing right now. Right from when I was young, I hardly buy clothes. I Once I see the fabric, I will imagine in my mind what and how it will come out well. And I'll go and look for, a tailor or a fashion designer and say, give me this. And they will. So I started investing into fashion just to see how I can also make more money out of it. But the funny thing, when I wear a dress made by my shop and I post it online, nobody, I will even intentionally tell them, look, come and buy for me, please. This is what I do. Like something blind the eyes of everybody. And all they will tell me is, oh, Mama, the grace of God upon your life. Oh, Pastor Jackie, we love the word you preach. Oh, Pastor Jackie, I am following you on social media and I'm so inspired by you. I go into my messengers and I see lots and lots of messages, all linking to the real person in me and not about what I wear or the business I'm doing. And this kept on going for, years. And part of my fulfilling purpose and self-discovery and motivation to start the Royal Circle is the fact that I came to a point that I kept putting in so much into this business, but I was not getting a turnover. So I knew that there was something I wasn't doing right, because many people are doing it out there and they are getting so much from it, but I wasn't. I couldn't even meet up getting back my capital. So basically, I was making clothes for myself. I remember there was a time we made, something like what I'm putting on now, quite a lot, almost 35 to 40 pieces, yeah. And it was there for like 1 month, almost 2 months. And dust were, beginning to come on them. I told the girl in the shop, I said, you know what? This thing, nobody has come to price it, nobody has. We did all the adverts on social media, whatever. And I told her, see, you know what? Let's give these things out. And I called, part of the people in my Royal Circle. I said, go in there, pick as many, anything that you feel is okay with you, pick it, because I just didn't want them to stay there without at least somebody wearing them. And that was the day I made a decision that today I'm very happy, making up that decision and telling myself, you don't need to struggle, in business because you want to make money. Doing business should be for two reasons, either for legacy or for profit. I had to go back to ask my why. Why did I start this business? And I kept asking my why till I got to the 11th why. And I discovered that the major reason for doing that was not for legacy. It was just because I want to make profit. I want to make money to use to do this. And money wasn't coming because that was not a purpose, it was a passion. So I had to look for how to do a partnership with some big companies, take it, take the name, take the brand, take everything, just run everything, all the investment, take it. We are doing a partnership and entered into a partnership agreement while I focus on fulfilling purpose. So letting go passion, baited purpose, and purpose is what is giving me the fulfillment, the joy, the happiness, and peace of mind. And I remember I went to the market, in Wuse Market one day, because I went with the intention of buying a fabric. And I went there, wow, I saw so many beautiful, colorful fabric. If you come, you wouldn't even believe it is me. And I packed the clothes, I was looking at the beautiful this one. I was thinking and telling my daughter, this will fit this if I wear it. This is going to bring out this in me. And boom, a lady came in who knew me and I don't know her. She greeted me so well. In fact, she was very close to somebody that is very close to me, but I don't know her. I had only met her once, so I didn't pick face. I didn't pick her face. She greeted me until she asked her, are you not Reverend Talena's wife? I said, of course I am. Say, it seems you don't recognize me. I am that. Sorry, ma, I don't recognize you. And everybody, there were like 10 other women there, and everybody thought like, Reverend Talena, Mama, Mommy, and you are seated right inside, this fabric. And, those set left because I had not finished selecting what I wanted. And two other ladies came, and a lady came in with a flyer of the church. But this particular flyer did not have my picture. It has only my husband's picture, inviting them for a program. Apparently, she's not a church member. I don't know her. Maybe she came just for a visit and they gave her a flyer from church, or somebody gave it to her. I didn't bother to ask her how she got the flyer because the whole thing was so dramatic and interesting. And she came and gave the flyer to one of the ladies that just walked in. So now we have three ladies and then me and my daughter. So five of us in the shop. And she handed the flyer over to one of the lady there. And that looked at her and said, this useless church. No, 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 I won't go. This church that the pastor's wife, she's very proud, full of herself, pompous. That woman, no, 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 no. Her husband is a very down to earth. The husband will smile, will welcome you, will even sometimes, help you, even give you offering, try to help you financially. But that woman, she's saucy. She is proud. She is very, very intimidating. I mean, I froze because this is me they're talking about right in front of me. And I couldn't help it. And I asked, I said, have you been to the church before? Because I picked interest. I said, really? Have you been to that church before? And she said, no, it is my neighbor and my friend. That is her church. And every day she comes, she's always complaining. She's always saying this. And in fact, that's the reason why I didn't even go back to that church at all. And I got laughing. I said, okay, can I show you something if you don't mind? And she said, what is it? No, 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 no. If it's about the church, I said, no, it's not about the church. It is about myself. I think there's a story that might interest you about me. And she said, okay, well, show me now. Then I opened my phone and I now showed the picture of me and myself and my husband and a flyer that has my face with the name of the church with me and my husband. I said, this person you are just talking about, see her here. She froze, she screamed, she held my leg. She said, Mommy, ma, no. I said, no, that's okay. You don't know me. It was just the me they sold out to you. And it's okay. That means the person must have done a very good business, in selling me. Unfortunately, she sold me wrongly to you. I am not that product you just, advertise. The real me is not who they just told you. So why don't you become my friend? Why don't you try to know me beyond this person? We exchanged numbers, and then she came to me one day, and I made a clothes, posted it out on Facebook, and she said, Mommy, I love that. I said, come. And she came, and I made the clothes for her just for free. And she was so, excited that the me she's speaking to is not, the me that was sold to her. And that is when I realized that I made more impact in her life, talking, counseling, helping her to discover and grow and be happy with herself rather than, selling fabric, buying fabric. And what she needed and what she got most from me was the me that is passionate about helping people grow out of trauma, rather than the clothes fashion thing. So I loved it widely because there were so many adventures and then so many, experiences. But then I really didn't want it to be a hindrance to my calling and my purpose for existence. So I needed to do what I had to do. When it has to do with marriage, I discovered that I was actually, you know, counseling them based on my own experience. People come to me, especially, for the marriage counseling, and that is sometimes they are sitting down in front of me and they're asking me question and the question they're asking me or what they are trusting me to give them a solution to, maybe what I'm even going through at that particular moment in my own marriage. And then major, or apart from marital counseling, people also come to meet me for counseling generally about their life, the situation of their life, circumstances they're going through at that particular moment of their life. And I need to counsel them. But I discovered that all I could do was just to use my native intelligence, sometimes my experience, and then my biblical knowledge to counsel them. And after, giving the counseling, talking to them, leading them through the Bible, hold their hands, pray for them, and they go. And maybe when I see them after a month or two and I ask, how is it going? And I keep hearing most, or like 99% of them telling me, Mommy, we're still there. Or they will come back again to come and tell me, the same story in another way, meaning all that I did not solve the problem. That is what it means. So I had to ask myself question, why is it that people are coming? Is it that I'm not a good counselor? Is it that I'm not giving them the right solution? Is it that what I was telling them is not the truth? And I had to ask myself. And I discovered that, yes, what I was actually them was the truth, but I was passing the truth in a different ways. And I discovered that the way you pass a truth professionally is different from how you pass it, as a pastor, literally. And I needed to go and get a certification in trauma management and trauma, healing development. And it was then, wow, my eyes were open to so many things. I discovered that sometimes the counseling I was doing was actually, in fact, getting people more traumatized, because by the time I tell them my own traumatic story, it was not helping them. It was even adding more to the burden. So I was just using what I call the native intelligence. It's intelligent actually, but it wasn't professional. And I was just using it to, counsel them. And apart from that, I also needed, I had passion for marriage, and I've been doing the marriage thing for quite a long time. And you can imagine I had a program sometimes in 2019 years, a couple, like a marriage program, under my husband and I project. And I was shocked that even people who were non-Christian attended. A lot of couples. I'm talking about people who are in other religions, some wearing their hijabs, so they all came. So in fact, beyond the church members, the tent was filled, and everywhere was, full with a lot of people, mostly married couple. And I looked at myself, and what came to my mind is that marriage goes beyond religion, culture, and tradition. It is universal. Everybody in the world, everyone get married, except when they decide not to get married. And that changed my perspective. And what broke my heart more was that evening, I had so much to say, but first I tailored it into a church. So the people who were non-Christian and non-church member couldn't even fit in what I was saying. And now here I have almost 300 people sitting down to listen to me, to talk to them on how their marriage could become better. And all I'm doing is telling them the Bible say, God say, this is how it is in life. No. I mean, what I was doing was tailored towards and patterned towards a particular belief system. And it was not generalized. It was not universal. You know that these people left, And that was the end of that program because I didn't even have the support and the fund to continue. And these people never come back to look for me to tell me, Pastor Jackie, please, how can we improve on what you told us? That means all that I did and said made no meaning, made no sense. And because I was saying it from that point of all that I know. So I knew I had to acquire more knowledge. And boom, I also, went for a certification on family and marriage development. I became certified as a marriage and family practitioner. And there was so much. I learned belief system. I learned re-engineering. I learned how background. There's so many things. And that is, that to me is the fulfillment of Romans 12, where it says, do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So going back to get those certification for me was a mind renewal, added to the knowledge and the experience and the encounter I had in God. It was so easy for me when I speak to somebody now and I talk and I counsel them. I'm coming from that point of knowledge, which is certification, encounter, which is, the God and the Holy Spirit aspect of it. And boom, these two come together. I see result, visible result, because I speak to you and then I say, okay, let's do this. You go and do it. To my greatest surprise, these people are coming back with so much excitement, so much result, so much answers. And I'm like, God. So I remember the first royal retreat I had for married women. I had some people who were not my church member, people who were not Christians, all came for, the retreat. And I was able to meet everybody's need at the same level. And what excites me was the fact that they were coming back. Even the non-Christians were now calling me for a personal counseling and coaching and therapeutic healing. And to my greatest surprise, I was reaching out to these people without knowing. Now we do prayers, we share Bible, we talk. So it was so easy for me to witness Christ without stress and beyond the four walls of the church. So that certification was a plus to me, and it's something I'll ever be grateful to God for. Your opinion shouldn't be the reason why people should not accomplish and fulfill their purpose. And I also believe that everybody needs that space of emotional safety where they can express themselves without being judged. And that is the inspiration behind Real Talk, where I know that the Bible says that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So there is one truth, but there are many truths. So your true might not be my true, but that doesn't mean that what you believe, your true, is a lie. It is your story, it is your life. And if you can bring it out into the reality, it might change people's life and add value to their life. And that is where the Real Talk will bring everybody to come and be real the way you are. No matter what your story is, we'd like to hear it and see how it can inspire or motivate or impact somebody else. Well, if I am to live my life again, I would have changed so many things. The best advice to give to the younger version of me is never live your life to please other people. And don't live your life on people's terms. And don't mark your script. Neither allow people to mark your scripts. Believe only in Jesus Christ as the center and the pointer, and let him be the one to mark your scripts. Discover yourself and live the best of your life to have dominion all over the world. And let your faith in Christ never shake. Let your belief be on Christ, not on religion, not in the four walls of the church, not on other people's opinion, but on the genuine encounter and personal encounter you have with God. Life is not all about the profit that you made while you are here, not about your personal success, not the cars, not the building, not the flashy things, not the wealth you acquire. No, I love soft life. But Life is more about the impact I make in life. My life now is all more about the impact that I am going to make. An impact in the sense that the people I'm able to reach and impact their life positively, bringing Christ as the center of their life and making Christ a pointer to them. That is what legacy makes to me now. And betting, helping people to discover their purpose and let their purpose outlive them is all that legacy is all the legacy I want to make. That when I'm dead and gone and my work is finished, let it be that through Pastor Jackie Talena, I was able to discover who I really are and why I exist. And I put it out there to do what I ought to do. And I changed my world and impacted the society as a whole. Legacy is so important to me, both here on earth and in heaven. And at the same time, I don't want to die going to heaven and I'll be standing at the gate to be a welcome, a greeter. I told myself, I'll not live all this life here on earth and go to heaven and be a greeter because I could not define and understand the reason why I exist and do what God actually created me to do. So legacy to me is to make and transform life here on earth, let people heal, discover, grow, and fulfill purpose. And also going to heaven to live in my big mansion and to live, in the bosom of my Father, who will tell me, yes, you have done exactly even beyond what I created you to be.